Hello folks and welcome to Wise Gamer Videos. Today we're going to be going over the RPG game called Wild Arms 5. This is the last of their series. I believe this game came out in about 2003 for the PlayStation 2. I never was aware that they actually released a Wild Arms 5 or a Wild Arms 4 until I read it in a website. Though I did play 1, 2, and 3, and I had a lot of fun with those games. And I've been looking for a new, well, to me, a newer RPG game because they don't make them as much as they used to play, because it's really the heartbeat of the games that I enjoy playing. I'll even still take these games over a lot of modern MMOs and stuff. It's just what I like. And I do like the turn-based. I like playing with a game controller most of the times over a keyboard if I can, and things like that. So we're going to push the start button here, and we're going to get this review rolling. And you should hear a pretty cool gunshot. Okay, so let's load our game from our last save. I'm not at the best area in the game to actually do a game review, but hey, an area is an area. Okay, I'm in the middle of a snowy field, and the next place that I'm supposed to go into is that tunnel we see up there, that cave. That's the next main place I have to go to. But mainly what I'm going to be covering in this video is the actual gameplay, what things mean, so that if you ever want to play Wild Arms 5, you have more of an understanding for it. So far, I'm loving this game. I like every concept about this game, and I am using a PlayStation 2 emulator on my brand new iBuyPower computer system. When I did go to use this emulator on my older system, it just didn't have the processing for it, and the voice acting used to be very, very slow, if not freezing up. So when I used to do a lot of research about that, a lot of people ran into the same situation, and we thought it had something to do with the emulator. And we tried running hot patches and all this, and it just never fixed it. So it is the computer system most of the times, folks. Because when you have a newer computer system that can handle it with a whopping graphics card, it makes the emulators run so much better. And to me, I can't find a difference between playing it now on my PlayStation 2 or my computer system. So the first thing I want to go over is the actual menus and all that stuff, so you have a clear review of how this game actually operates. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is, let's see,
where we are in here.
The start button opens up the world map, or the area map, wherever you are. Okay, let's see here. The green squares, I believe, indicates a town, where the more pinkish reddish type squares indicates a dungeon or a cave, or anything outside of a town. Now you could also, with the two top buttons on the controller, left one and right one, you can scroll between zones on the world map. Now if anybody's played Wild Arms 3, the towns were hidden in the world. You had to press your button, which we're going to get into soon, to actually discover them. In this game, they're already present. The menu. First, we're going to press the accept button. Okay, now I'm using a Logitech F310 controller. And what's nice about this game is that it's pretty much plug and play. You don't have to use any third-party mapping software to get the game to work and all that. Pretty much you plug in any controller that's compatible with the Windows operating system, and you're good to go.
Phew, I needed a breather.
Now, hitting the main accept button, which is my A button, my green button on my controller. While standing on these round circles here, these save pads, I call them, or pods, is where you save the game, obviously. You modify your arms. Okay, Carol, I want to bring back up. Raise first. Everybody else's. Raise up her magic up there. Just so she's 11 with everybody else. Okay, what this basically does is it makes your attack, your magic, or your FP a little bit stronger in the game. Okay, and you want to try to level as far as you can. And I just kind of actually discovered this just a few days ago of how this system works. So that's what we're going to do with that for now. Hint. Hint is a nice little feature. Kind of keeps you on track of the game. If you kept a couple of days off, a week off, a month off from the game, and you didn't write it down, you're not sure what you got to do next. If you hit hint, it's going to kind of give you a synopsis of the path of where you have to go next. Which in my case is Mount Chug Chug, which is right near us. So that's what that does. Other features of the save pad: it fully replenishes your pod. It gives you back your mana points, and of course it heals you. Now in this game also, you don't go through a lot of items in this game. I think I've used maybe a handful of items, because after each battle, your party does get replenished. Okay, except for mana points. Mana points is only replenished by either using items, a skill in the game, these save pads, or other means, which I'll go over a little bit later. So you do kind of want to watch your mana usage a little bit. The only character I'm really using my mana on right now is Alvry, the girl second down on the Greg. She's my healer. She's the only really healer I have so far in the game. So, of course, I try to build up her mana. If you notice, I got her mana, her MP points higher than anybody else's, and that's the reason why, because she's my healer. Also, in the item page or the interface, I'm going to go over each one of these features and what they do. Mediums are kind of like the heartbeat for the big skills that you use in this game. And this is where you would equip them of the one that you want. You always got to push your accept buttons to check your other options. They don't just automatically appear. Even with equipment and all that, always hit your accept button to make sure if you got something better. Okay? For now, I'm going to leave Fizz the way it is. And customization is basically where these top ones right here, actually, a lot of these you don't actually have to manually do. I think the game actually does it as you go up in level. Because I know I didn't do all these. And some of these, once they hit a certain master point, you can't play with them anymore. They stay there. You can't take away from them, and you can't add to them no longer. Okay, but these down here, they're in white. You could always subtract and add to them. So in other words, if you wanted to say give this one more points than this one, you could always lower this one and then carry those points over to the next one. Okay, so you're not really stuck with this system right here. Now there's one important thing I want to go over when you're utilizing your mediums. Just so you don't go too crazy with one of these to max it out too quickly than the game really wants you to. There's a little penalty for each time you spend one of these points. And if you notice, it lowers your health points. Okay, so he's at 2972 health points right now. If I give another point to reinforce, what's it drop? It just dropped to 2922. But I am going to cap this off to, let me see. No, I'm not going to cap this off. This one I didn't think I already capped off, but I did. But anyways, as you could see, for each one I go up, I lose health points. Okay, so it's a give and a take. But then I could also subtract it, and it's going to give me my health points back. So you get that option. So that's what these do. And then we're going to see later on what the mediums really do. Okay, so that's what that does. And then we have the main system. This is where you could adjust volumes, anything that you want to adjust. This is your main interface system for the game. Then we have status of each character. And you just click on the character, and with your directional pad or whatever, it will go through each page of each different kind of abilities they have and the information about them. And then the top right and left button, you could toggle between each character. The game comes already preloaded with the names. You can't change names in this game. Dean is our main character. This is Dean right down here. He's our main boy. Okay, and he's our strongest member too. Right now he really hits well. But they all do. They all got their advantages and disadvantages and stuff like that. And then whenever you're checking their equipment out, always make sure that you're hitting the accept button, because it's not going to automatically show what they have in their inventory. So they might have something better than what they're already wearing. So you got to hit the accept button to see that. It's not just going to automatically appear. Now, how you could tell is blue arrows going down means it's weaker than what you already have equipped. If it's a red arrow pointing up, like that bottom stat right there on the heavy, with heavy guard, that's an increase. So if this piece was all red arrows going up, I would change it. But right now, this is actually lower than what I'm wearing, so I'm just going to keep it. These are your badges, which add little special abilities to your guy. It could prevent poisons. It could make your strength stronger, things like that. Now, also, if you want to grind out, say if you're in a spot of the game where you're at a save point like I am right now, you feel like you want to go up a couple of levels, and you just want to grind out and fight monsters to go up in experience points and money in the game, which is called Gila. You could use the badge called Omen, Bad Omen. And Bad Omen increases the rate of random encounters, so you get a lot more fights. If you want to do that, usually I'll do that for every couple hours, so I don't have to worry about my experience in the game for a while, in case if I just want to concentrate with the storyline. And again, you always want to check anything out in this game between pages, because sometimes it's tough to notice that they actually have pages with your top two buttons. Okay, so we went over equipment a bit. We went over the items. Here's a perfect example of what I was just talking about. When I first started playing this game, I thought everything was just in this page right here. Everything in the game I thought was right in here, until I noticed that if you press the top right and left button, it's going to take it to different pages. Okay. A lot of these you don't use from this page though, so it doesn't really matter. You equip them somehow or use them somehow in other means of the game. But this is the main one that we use, so it's defaulted to this page. So we went over equipment a little bit. We went over mediums, system, and status. Next is order. Order in this game is you could only hold 3 people at any given time so far, and I think it's going to be like this for the remainder of the game. During a battle, you can only take in 3 people. Okay, even if you have 8 people total in your group, you can only take 3. So the order is just battle order. It's not world order. World order is always defaulted to Dean. It's always Dean. Now in other Wild Arms, you were able to switch who showed up in the world, because they had different abilities for what you had to do to continue with the game. But this one so far, Dean always shows up in front. Unless there's another way of doing it, which I'm not sure of, that I have not come across yet. Now, another nice feature too is, even though you can only take 3 in your group, anybody who's not in your battle group still gets the experience. They still get experience points after each battle. So they could still go up. They could still learn abilities and things like that. So if there's somebody that you really don't like too much, you don't necessarily, you're not forced to really take them. Unless the storyline or something like that permits it. But so far, at my level, I haven't really seen that yet. So you can only take 3 in a battle, but everybody gets counted for the experience. Unless if somebody dies. Okay? Then they're not going to get counted for the experience, obviously. And again, they do get healed after each battle, except for the mana, as I said earlier. Now, let's see what else we got here. Okay, we're all set as far as I think most of the menus go right now. Let's get back into the game. Now, there is random encounters in the world. You never know when they are going to attack and things like that. It's not one of these games, like I know some RPG games like Breath of Fires and stuff like that, like every 5 feet you take, there's a fight. This game's not quite that bad. But again, in a lot of those games, the fighting was very basic and very quick. In this game, the fights are rather long because the graphic scenes and the cutscenes for some of the skills are rather lengthy. So I think that's why they don't give you tons of fights, you know. Yeah, let's see. Now, a very important thing too in Wild Arms, especially in this one too, Wild Arms 3 really was really important with this because even towns were hidden in Wild Arms 3. So you had to use this button right here. Now you can't see it good where I am now because of snow on the ground. But if I go against this gray rock, you can see it. See the green circle? That's your radar. Okay? And you need this to make things appear like treasure chests, items. There's even quest items. Like there was a key I had to get for somebody and stuff like that. And it was using this circle that made me find it in the world. So anything in the world will not just be sitting there visible. You have to hit this and then it becomes visible. Okay, so this is really important. If you're in a new area, always make sure as you're moving that you're always hitting this button. Okay, and this is the, on my controller, it's the X button. That's doing this. Okay, just hit all your buttons until you find the one. Now I know this area is cleared because I already did it and saved it. I did find a treasure box not too far from here, but I did search this whole area, so just to save some time, I did already save it, so I know I'm good as far as that goes. But we are going to walk around now until we get into a fight, because I know you guys want to see that and how the battle system works. Battle system's pretty intense. It's not just sit there, push buttons, and boom, it's over. Like Final Fantasy series, which I love Final Fantasy to death. Their battle system was pretty basic as far as you just stand there as a group. When your turn's up, you hit a button, you assign the skill, and that's it. And this one, excuse me, it's a hex system. And how you could, the best way to see it, there is a top view, actually. Let's see, he's saying it's the square button. Let me see something here. Okay, that's that right there. Okay, but the best way to see it is to just go to this icon right here. It looks like a green person. It says guard and move. Hit on that, and you can move with the directional button. You can move throughout the battlefield and see what's going on. Now, the battlefield is usually made up of these 7 hexes. Boss fights are a little bit different looking. They could be whichever. Okay, but most of the times it's 7 hexes like this, and each hex has its own unique ability, or should I say condition, hex condition. Okay, any outside hex except for the middle one has an escape option, and what the escape options do is if I go to escape by pressing down into that direction with my directional pad, right, and hitting that on Rebecca right now, it's going to give me 2 options: either to flee battle, which always works. So if you ever want to leave a battle, you don't feel like fighting, you could hit flee and you're going to leave the battle. It always works and it's instant. The whole group leaves. Okay? The bad side of fleeing from too many battles, you're going to lose in-game gold, which is called Gila. Okay? Because they want you to fight. That's part of the game. That's how you grow, you know? And then the other option is switching members. You might get a fighting situation where another member has an ability that's better than the person you already have, so you got the option of always switching your members out while you're in one of these escape hexes, which is nice. So if I wanted to say put in Chuck instead of Rebecca, we got the option of doing so. But after we do it now it's the monster's turn. He's going to hit us. He's going to go. Anytime you move or the monster moves, they get to attack after the move. The move alone is not just a move and that's it. Then they're done. So when they move, get prepared to get hit again once after they move. And it's the same with us too. Now, one person I do tend to always have in my groups most of the time is Alvary, because she's the healer. And I always like having a healer in anything I do in these games, where I think we all do. You know, so she's always prone to be with us more than anybody. Even more than Dean, which is the main character, even though he hits really hard. Okay, so let's see. So for now, let's see who's going to attack. It says Command Greg.
There you go.
So Greg, we're just going to do a normal hit. Now, if you notice on the right bottom corner, there's force levels, and right now it's lighting up blue in that bar. The more of those you get, the more special abilities you could do. Okay? So, for now, who's up next? Our healer's up next, the girl. And let's see if anybody needs a heal. We're just going to do a heal with her so you see it. And anything you do affects the hex. It doesn't affect the players or the enemies. So you're actually fighting hexes in this game. You're not fighting... Well, you are fighting the beasts. They're taking the beat, but it's the hex that lays everything out. So in other words, if all my characters are spread out right now into their own hex, only the person in this hex, where Alvary is, or wherever I send her a heal, is going to get the heal. But when they're all together, they're all going to get the heal, and it even works with items too. So if I go to use a heal item right now with somebody, it's going to heal everybody in that hex, which is nice.
Accept my most powerful healing.
See? Okay, and the same goes with attacking. If the enemies are all standing in the same hex and you hit them, you're going to hit both of the enemies. You're not just going to hit one of them. But seeing these guys are spread out right now, I'm just going to be able to hit one of them. Okay, and we're going to see what Chuck does with just a normal hit. Because he's our newest guy. We just got him. Alright, he's not bad. That's pretty good. Once our force levels go up, we'll do a combo.
I'm ready for
And to do a combo, you got to be standing together in the hex with the person that does the combo with you. And how that's easy to tell is this is your list, your force list. And these are going to light up when you hit that amount of FP that's needed. That's why your FP points are very important. Okay? And each one has a combination of members you got to be with to be able to use that. So let's see. Greg and Alvary, they do Heaven's Gate. which I'm going to work to get in Heaven's Gate. Let me see. Do I have the people for that? Yeah. Okay. And that hits all hexes, so that's going to hit both of these guys, and that should kill them. So what we're going to do now, for now, is just normal hits. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Because I don't want to kill them. I want you guys to see this spell. See what the spells look like. I'm just going to God, and Garden is also going to build up my bullets again, so I don't run out of bullets, and it's going to also give me FP points. Alvary, I'm going to have to do another heal.
Don't hold yourself back.
And now they got enough to do Heaven's Gate, but I got to wait until Chuck's done, so for him, I'm just going to God. Now, when these guys hit me, they shouldn't hit me that hard because I got it. See? Greg didn't even get affected. I'm ready for you. Now, Greg's up, and he's part of that spell. Heaven's Gate's lit up. And this is what I mean about, watch these spells. They're really cool looking. This is why the fights are a little long.
For all the foolish existences.
Who dare to stand before us?
Even the new games today, the new, you know, like Elder Scrolls, they don't have graphics like this, you know, for spells and stuff. That's why I love these Japanese games are the best. All right, these guys are pretty strong. Didn't actually kill them. All right, but I'm sure just some normal hits now is going to take them out. There we go, bang, bang.
Let's finish this off.
And that's a rough that's a rough synopsis right there of how the battle system works. And you can see everybody's getting experience, not just the people that came into the group. And let's see, but the mana again, the mana does not get replenished. But seeing I am right near the save spot. And you don't even have to save it. Just go on it, hit the button, and then just exit out of it. If you don't want to save it. Now I'm going to show you one of the coolest toys that I've gotten in the game just the other day. That's going to make you go, wow, that looks like fun. We're going to go to menu. We're going to go to items. We're going to go down and find call whistle. It's going to summon this thing. It's a goofy looking motorcycle. Okay, but this thing's fast. Like, you know, you don't have to travel on foot anymore once you got this. And you got to complete, of course, a game quest. You can't miss it because it's a main quest line. And I think somebody gives you this, if I remember right. I actually forgot how I got it. And basically on this you could still hit your button where the green circle comes out, so you could still do your search while you're on it. But what's nice about this is if you don't feel like fighting, I don't think there's any encounters while you're on this.